Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nikki, in case you haven't met me yet. I am the Community Education Coordinator here at the North Carolina Zoo. We appreciate you guys coming back or coming for the first time to join us for our next program in our zoo classroom. So before we get started with the program, you know, we did boring rules, all that blah, blah, blah stuff. So again, you guys are muted, which means you can't talk to each other. You can hear me, obviously, I hope anyways, but we want you guys to talk to us, but we'll do it in a different way. So there is a Q&A box and there's a chat box. So if you have a question for me or for us at the zoo, because it's not just me running the show here, I've got Leslie behind the camera.
Hello.
I got Beth and Kathy helping us at home, answering questions and doing all that fun stuff. And I think, is Bob with us today? Who's with us today?
Yep.
We got Bob too. All right. So they're helping you answer questions. So if you have questions for us smartish people that know something about animals, put those in the question and answer box, okay? Now I will be asking you guys lots of questions and trying to get input from you. That you put in the chat box. And that way we can see that and we can get your responses and know you're paying attention. All right? You ready to get started? Okay, that's the boring stuff's over. Let's get started with...
We did have a question.
Oh, all right. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
What are we doing today?
You interrupt.
I know. You knew, Angelina.
Ready? I was going to sing for you guys.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Ready? Ready for this? We're doing Creatures of the Night.
Oh.
I know, sorry. So creatures of the night, guys, we're going to learn about those nocturnal animals, that big fancy science word for meaning they're more active at night, right? So I'm going to test you guys, all right? So nocturnal means they're active at night. That's those creatures of the night. What are we? So most of us, we're more active in the daytime. There's a fancy science word that goes with that. You're more active in the daytime. Does anybody know that fancy science word?
All right, so we have Abby and Emma say diurnal.
Nice.
Long prep, Lisa.
Nice job.
Hunter.
Excellent.
Great job.
Diurnal, absolutely. So we're diurnal, we're more active. I like to think I'm more of a night owl. I like to stay up late and get up late. Whereas those crazy morning people like to go to bed early and get up early. And that's not me.
I like to go to bed early and get up late.
Yeah, if I can do both. So I'm going to test you guys even further. So we got nocturnal, we have diurnal, so daytime, nighttime. There's actually animals that are more active at like dusk and dawn, kind of like my friends, the deer and the skunk. So they're more active at dusk and dawn. More like at dusk when the sun's starting to set, it's just starting to get a little bit dark. They really come out and start moving around looking for food. It's a big fancy word. A lot of people haven't heard of it.
So Narithi says twilight, which is a good word, but it's not the word we're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Somebody got it?
Good job. Easton, Eliana, Emma, Crepuscular, Lisa, Katie. Very good.
That's awesome. Crepuscular, right? Big word. It's kind of fun to say. Crepuscular. Crepuscular. So the next time you're in a trivia, you'll know crepuscular. And what's really cool is I actually just learned a new word. Another word, another term for animals that when they're active, what time of day they're active. Get talk already. So, like I said, old dog can learn new things. So this one actually goes along with our lions. This one, I don't think like I said, I had just heard it, and I stumped him too. He hadn't heard of it. This one's called Cathamaral or Cathamaral or something like that. Leslie's never heard of it. See, I just learned. I was researching, looking stuff up. Cathamaral basically means they're active whenever they feel like it. There's no real pattern. And lions are kind of like that. It's like our lions. They'll be sleeping sometimes of the day and sometimes they're awake and the same at night and they're like that. So that's kind of, yeah, we have a question?
Yeah, so Rebecca was just wondering if that specifically is a real skull.
That is, yeah. So that came from...
And Katie too, yeah.
Yeah, so that came from one of our lions that passed away from old age. And that, to me, I think that's awesome because that's their way of still living on. They're still an ambassador for their species. And you got to see a pretty cool skull, actually. It's pretty awesome. So Cathamaral. So nocturnal, diurnal, crepuscular, and Cathamaral. There you go. we got some cool terminology. Now, when you're nocturnal, does that mean you literally just sleep all day and you're active all night? What do you guys think? Does a nocturnal ever move around during the daytime? Wake up, move around at all during the daytime?
So Lakeisha, Mary, all say no. We did have one yes.
Right.
But most and somebody says yes, as in they are moving,
Yeah.
moving,
You're right. So
yeah.
this term just means they're more active at night. Doesn't mean they don't sleep at night or they don't get up and move around in the daytime. Matter of fact, what's kind of neat, I just saw a cool video with cheetahs, which we always thought were diurnal hunters. They're hunters during the daytime, but when it's really bright out with the moon, when it's really bright night out, when the moon is full, they'll actually hunt at night. They'll take advantage of that darkness and hunt at night. So just because they're nocturnal or diurnal doesn't mean they're always just active during that time. So they will switch it up a little bit too. All right. So can you guys tell me list some animals for me of some nocturnal animals. So what are some different kinds of nocturnal animals? Let's see what you guys can think of. Let's see
Mary says owl, and bats. Lisa says bats. Charles bats. Lakeisha raccoons. Kimberly a possum, one of my favorites. Lots of Nietzsche, Narithi,
a raccoon.
oh, Minetta moth.
Oh, I can pick one.
Sarah wolves.
Oh, here we go.
Lots of possums. We have some snakes in there.
Oh man, I'm running out of hands, guys. Seriously.
Some cats, fox, flying squirrels, lightning bugs.
Oh, I ran out of room, sorry. Absolutely. You guys are awesome. That is perfect.
Oh, hedgehog. Great job, Erin.
Yes, absolutely. Hedgehog. Absolutely. Lots of different animals are nocturnal. Or creatures of the night.
Great
So
job.
you guys are going to be singing that from now on.
I know.
So, why be nocturnal? What are the advantages? Why would you want to be nocturnal? How would that help you? What do you guys think? I'm going to make you think. You didn't think so. Yeah, I'm making you think today.
While we're waiting, though, we have asked if they're real skulls, and the lion one was real, but most of these are not.
Most of us are plastic that we buy online.
Okay, so yeah, questions we have. There's less predators. Prey is maybe sleeping, but they are adapted to hunting at night.
Mm-hmm.
Prey could be sleeping. They can't see as well during the daylight.
Well, nocturnals actually can see daytime and nighttime. So that's what those black parts of our eyes, those pupils, they kind of get bigger and smaller and adjust the light in and out. So an owl can be awake during the daytime. It doesn't hurt his eyes. His pupils will be much smaller. So it doesn't let the light in. So we got most of those.
That's most of it. Less predators.
Yeah, less predators.
It says, let's see, Lakeisha says because usually some animals would be hunting, and so that's the time for the prey to get food and water.
Right, absolutely. That actually brings up our first critter. So let's say you are an animal and your food is nocturnal. What would be the best time of day for you to be a hunter? Right? So that means you want to be nocturnal. So let's see. Grab my first friend. All right. So say hi to Gwen. So when she is a nocturnal animal because does anybody know what Gwen here? She is a Chilean rose tarantula. So what do you think she likes to eat? Have a guess? Ooh, that's a close one.
Oh, some people are just saying hi. Okay, here we go. And we're getting bugs, mostly bugs, insects. Some said birds or like small mammals.
Yep.
Other spiders, small birds, insects. A lot of bugs and insects.
Right, absolutely. So she's definitely an insect eater, right? So, and a lot of insects are nocturnal. So it makes sense that she hunts at night. So when her food is active and moving around, she can catch that food. And do you think she likes to chase her food down? Or is she kind of what we call an ambush predator, which means she will sit and wait for the food to come by her. And then when she senses it, she runs out and grabs it.
So Angela says no, as in no, she doesn't chase after it.
Right, absolutely.
Some people are saying that she stalks them, which was what you're saying about the ambush predator, right? Yeah. Ambush, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys know what do spiders like to make? It comes out of, let's see if I can get a good view of it. She's kind of, it's hard.
Webs,
It's a little
great
awkward.
job, everybody.
Area web. So you can kind of see on her
Paula,
backside,
Cassie, Philip, Alex, Emma, great job.
those little things sticking out of the back. Those are called her spinnerets. And that's what she uses to make her web. And she doesn't make a web up like high up because she is a heavy, compared to, you know, other spiders, she's heavy. And so it's best for her to be on the ground because if she fell from a height, it could potentially kill her. So she's a low on the ground. So she makes her web on the ground. Oops, I keep forgetting where I am in relation to you guys. And so she waits for that insect to crawl across the web and she senses it. Because if you're active at night, you have to have some pretty cool senses. So how would she sense that spider is, or that, excuse me, her food is nearby?
Did you say her name?
Oh, I don't know if I did. This is
Okay.
Gwen.
Somebody asked.
Her name is Gwen. Gwen, the Chilean rose tarantula.
So you were
Sorry, my
saying,
hands are
how
really
does
shaky
she,
today.
What does she use to sense, right?
Yep. What is she using to sense?
So we have, she senses vibration. She uses the hairs on her body. And then it looks like we have a bunch of also her web shakes.
Right. Her webs, right. So she might have like a foot, or I like these cool little things. It almost looks like she has an extra set of legs. The pedipalps are called. And so those kind of her sensory organs. So she feels things around and smells with them, right, Leslie? Sorry.
she does have the ability to smell, yes.
Yes. And how does she smell?
She smells like nothing.
Okay.
Anybody who saw that a couple weeks ago,
We just like to tease her, but
now they're
give her a hard
teasing me.
time.
Okay. We do have some other questions, so if you'd be willing to take them.
Absolutely.
We had a question from Crystal Smith asking if she was fast.
When she wants to be, like if there was a food that she wants to catch, she will run and get it. But for the most part, like I said, they're that kind of wait for food to come to them. So they usually just kind of sit still and not move. And do you think she'd be easy to see in the dark on the ground of wherever she lives? Seeing some nose.
Mostly nose, yeah.
Yeah, right. So that helps her to kind of blend in too.
Is Gwen venomous?
Oh, good question.
Kelly Sullivan.
Well, you know, all true spiders actually are venomous. So that's how they are able to digest their food, because they don't, because venom is actually just, it's spit that's been modified. And so it helps, our spit helps to kind of digest our food. And so they inject that venom into whatever the food is, the cricket, and it kind of liquefies the food, and that way they can slurp it out. So they have little mouth parts.
Allison Mullen would like to know what bug she eats. I think we can answer that for what she specifically eats. Yeah.
So we know definitely she is a cricket eater. So we feed her crickets. Those are her favorites. In the wild, that's probably a lot of crickets. Whatever is crawling on the ground near their web, they will catch and eat. Excellent. Well, I'm going to put her back. And if you have any questions, I can answer.
Yeah.
Leslie and I can answer.
Michelle asked, how does she defend herself? And some people, when we first brought her out, definitely noticed that she looked really fuzzy.
Yeah.
And she actually does have those hairs on her abdomen that she can kick. And then they are really itchy. So it's like if you took a bite into a Big Mac and then all of a sudden your mouth got real itchy, you probably wouldn't want to eat it anymore. Basically.
If your next bite of food starts kicking hairs in your face and your eyes, you're probably not going to want to eat it. So it's a great way of defending yourself.
It doesn't have to be the last question if you don't want to, but Angela wanted to know, where do we keep her? Like, where does she normally live?
Oh, right. So all the ambassadors you're going to meet today are live ambassadors. They live behind our kids zone area. So they are off habitat, or, they don't go where the public can see them. So the only time you get to see them is during a program, or sometimes we bring them out and do programs in Kids Zone. and you get to meet critters then. But yeah, they're not on habitats. You don't get to see them like all the other animals we have out here at the zoo. Oh, good question. All right.
Did you want to answer any other questions real quick, or do you, okay? Is the venom, Jessica would like to know, is their venom harmful to humans?
Good question. Right. So it depends on if you're allergic or not. So theirs is kind of like being stung by a bee, but if you're allergic to bees, it can be harmful to you. But for the most part, it's not gonna kill you. It's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna lie, because they have pretty big things. So if you do bite, that's why Gwen, the rose tarantulas are Chilean rose tarantulas are super chill. Do you notice she barely moved in my hands? So she's very calm, very chill, and a lot of tarantulas are, because they got pretty good ways of defending themselves. They're not as worried about predators coming after them.
All right, and I think one more question. Lisa is Lisa twice. Sorry, sorry, Lisa. We're getting to it. Lisa Beakwilder wants to know what hunts her, or like what are her predators?
Oh, good question. Probably birds, any kind of large mammal or smallish mammal. A lot of different animals will hunt her and catch her, which does kind of help. Sort of hiding. We'll get to it later. I have a method to my madness, guys. There's a way. So I'm going to move on to the next reason why it's an advantage to be nocturnal. So let's see. Let's meet this guy. Okay. So this is a desert animal called the Gila monster. All right. Pretty
Good job.
He is a venomous lizard. Oops. We're going. It's always backwards from when I see it. And so they live in the desert. So what advantage is it to come out at night? How would that help them? What do you guys think?
To hunt. Lisa says it's cool. Cassie said it's colder.
Right, absolutely.
Katie did ask, are they venomous?
Yeah, they are venomous. This is one of there's only 2 venomous lizards in the world, and this is one of them. And right, so coming out at night, it's cooler. It's too hot to move around during the daytime and really hunt. So coming out at night when it's cooler is much, much better adaptation. Helps them out that way. So my friend here, let's see. So this is a common one we have around here. It's really dark in here today. I don't know why.
I don't know.
We
We have all the lights on.
I don't know. So this is one of our common venomous snakes we have here in North Carolina.
Great job, Copperhead.
Nice job, that beautiful copperhead. And I like to call the Hershey kiss of death, we say. Looks like they have Hershey kisses on the side of their body. And so this animal, so he's diurnal most of the time, but I run into him a lot in the middle of the summer at night, because during the daytime it's too hot for them to be out in the sun and sunning themselves. Like, it's way too hot, so they come out at night when it's a little bit cooler, but the roads and the walkways are still warm, and they can go and kind of sit on that warm path, that's the pavement and things like that, to warm themselves up. And so that way they can hide in the shade during all day when it's too hot for them. So sometimes they're diurnal, sometimes they're nocturnal, depending on the temperature. So temperature would be a big advantage to being active at night. Another one, we kind of mentioned it with Gwen. I'm dropping things today. All right, let's see, ready? All right, can you see me now? Can you see me?
Some say no, some say yes. Kimberly says leopard. Or no, she doesn't. Question mark. Leopard.
Yes, you're right. Nice job. That is a leopard.
Yes.
Right. So a lot of your cats are nocturnal. They're active at night. And so this lets them do what? Is it easier to do what at night? So your food can't see you.
Blend in, Alex Camo, Mary Camouflage,
Right,
Charles,
absolutely.
Keisha, Michelle, Lisa, yeah.
Absolutely. It's so much easier to be able to hide from
Bridget?
animals that want to eat you or if you want to eat another animal. What's up?
Rebecca C said, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, I can see you. You're too smart for us, Rebecca.
Okay. Well, these are small books. All right. So yeah, so it makes it easier to hide at night too. And so our next friend, a lot of our cousins too. I'm running out of space.
Let me know if you want me to move anything.
Okay. Oh, what's that? All right. Sorry for the dead air. Here we go. Okay. We got Todd, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Todd. Oh, hey, Todd's doing this thing. Todd is blowing himself, turning into a toad balloon, toad sickle. But
That'd only be if he was cool.
I know. Let's hope not. I don't want to turn him into a sickle.
So Lisa said cane toad.
Nice job. Oh, thank you, Todd. So right, this is a cane toad or a giant marine toad. I have several different. He's using one of his defenses, which is a pretty good way if you want to defend yourself. Just pee on some. Just pee on it, and that's what keeps the animals away. So he's doing several different defense postures right now. He's blowing himself, making something really, really huge, and then he's releasing everything in his bladder. So I'll be grossed out and leave him alone. But that doesn't work. I mean, so he has really good camouflage for hiding at night, right? Because there are animals that will eat him, and a lot of their frogs and toads are more active at night. Some of them are that cathameral too. So that way they can hide and the predators can't find them. And then have you guys ever heard frogs calling? How many of you guys have heard frogs calling at night, especially in the summertime? We had some.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year, I hear them a lot at night. They're getting very active. Does anybody know what they're saying? What are they doing? Why are they calling so much? Why are they so noisy? If you're making a lot of noise, it means predators will be easier to find you, right? But they have to make noise in order to do what? Oh, sorry. I always forget.
Rebecca or Alyssa, I should say, said mating season.
Right, absolutely. So they're calling, looking for
Lakeisha,
boyfriends and girlfriends.
Katie.
Absolutely, they're looking for boyfriends and girlfriends. And so if they're calling for the daytime when they are visible, yeah, so it's a little safer at night to be calling and looking for your boyfriend and girlfriend because you can hide better at night when it's dark out. And so that way, being active at night makes it easier to hide from animals that want to eat you, and also for the animals that you want to eat, they can't see you as well. So having really good camouflage. Oh, I forgot about the radio over there. It's loud. So what do you think? What senses do you think Todd uses to be able to get around in the dark? What do you guys think? It's so funny.
Smell, vision, hear, touch. We have almost one of every.
Yep.
Eyesight, smell. They have night vision.
Yeah. Pretty good eyesight. Smell's okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of it's touch and feel. Absolutely. And they can hear too. You can
That's the one
kinda
we were looking for.
Yeah, you can kind of
Here.
see right
Oh,
here
Philip got it.
behind their eyes. There's what we call the tympanic membrane, so they do actually have ears. And then with these guys, because a lot of toads have these, you guys can see that right there. That is where they secrete toxins. So don't ever lick a toad.
Which actually Lisa did ask if it was poisonous.
So they are poisonous. So they didn't secrete like this milky substance right there. And it makes them taste really bad. And it also can cause hallucinations. And sometimes if you eat a lot of cane toads, it could potentially kill you. So yeah, so no, don't lick a toad. So that's their way of protecting themselves, which is pretty good. So no, we don't have any toad lickers out there, do we?
No. In fact, Alyssa specifically said, "Why would I lick a toad?"
We don't know. We're just
Yeah,
covering
there are
bases.
People, all kinds of people out there in the world. You never know.
Yes. We have some questions though for you.
Bring them on.
So we have a lot of questions about the eyes. One question Lisa was asking, why are the eyes kind of popping out?
Good question. Well, what do you guys think? So let's say he's sitting in water.
Narithi also had that question.
Right? He's sitting in water. Where would his eyes be? What do you guys think? they'd be above the water, maybe.
Yeah, above it.
Absolutely, kind of help them see.
Great job.
And they also have really big eyes. It's kind of cool. So you'll notice when he pushes his eyes in, his throat also kind of moves. They actually literally use their eyes to swallow. So they push their eyes down and it helps push their food down their throat. So, which is pretty creepy.
Which kind of goes with Michelle was asking, do they blink?
Oh yeah. Yep, they do. They have eyelids like we do. He's getting a little antsy, so I'm gonna go ahead and put him back.
All right, we do have some other questions, but so Hillary wanted to know why he is called a cane toad.
That is a good question. Oh, sorry. Make sure that's on tight so he doesn't jump out. So he is called a cane toad. So they are native to Central and South America. And they're really good hunters of bugs, and so they thought they had a brilliant idea. There was this beetle, this cane sugar beetle, that would go and eat cane sugar crops in Australia. And they thought, well, you know what, we'll bring over this toad to Australia to eat all those beetles. And they did, and that toad didn't eat beetles, but they found lots of other food, and they found that there were no predators there in Australia. And so they had tons of babies and their population just grew, and now they're considered a huge pest. And so because of that, it was cane fields. They got that cane sugar. They got the cane toad, or giant marine toad is another name for them. So yeah.
So Bridget, I'm gonna go with Bridget or Brigitte. Sorry, I'm not good at this. She was asking why he was kind of so stiff when you were holding him.
Oh, that was his so he's making himself look really, really big and puffed out. And so he fills his stomach up with air, his body up with air, and it makes himself look really, really big and scared, right? It just scared you guys off, or me. But it didn't work, because I know better. So yeah, so that's their defense. A lot of your frogs and toads will make themselves look really, really big just to make themselves look scarier to the animal wants to eat them.
And then last question, Olivia would like to know what the difference between a toad and a frog is.
Oh, good. So if you notice on Todd, his skin was a lot bumpier, right? Whereas a lot of your your frogs tend to be a little bit smoother skin, but that's not always the case. So sometimes you have bumpy frogs too. But a lot of times if you look at the legs, so frogs have really long back legs for jumping far distances, whereas toads are more like little hoppers and walkers. So most of the time it's the legs you look at. Big difference. Any questions?
Yeah, one more question. We do, or two, if you're willing to take them.
What are we doing on time?
So it is just now 1:30. So Alyssa wants to know why does it also have the giant marine toad name? So why also giant marine?
Well, they are one of the largest toads in the world. What's that?
The largest. They
I
are.
thought those Goliath ones are bigger.
They're not toads then. They're glad.
Oh, they're frogs. That's
yeah.
true. Oh, good question. Yeah, didn't think about that.
I had to
Yeah.
answer that in another program.
Yeah, so they're the largest toad in the world.
Yeah.
So they're giant marine toads. And it's funny, I don't know why the marine, because they can be found near salt water, but sometimes they're found in like drier areas. And, they're found pretty much all over. So they're not picky about their habitats. So I'm not sure what the marine part. Do you know? Yeah. Yes, apparently somebody probably found them by the ocean and it's the marine.
It's marine.
Frog.
And then Anne would like to know if poison dart frogs are poisonous enough to kill lizards or even humans.
Yes, I do believe some of them are pretty toxic. And actually that brings up, I read something really quick. So, the poison dart frogs, the hunters in South America would put the arrows on their skin to get that poison on them and hunt with that to kill other animals so they can hunt. They also did that with the cane toad too, with that toxin on it. So yeah, it could potentially kill you. And yeah, we have them here at the zoo. We have poison dart frogs, but we can pick ours up because they're not eating the right kind of food to make them that poisonous. So they are safe here. Mm-hmm. So it's the food they eat that makes them poisonous.
The ants.
Whereas those, they make their own poison. So it's a little bit different. All right, I'm going to move on. So one last advantage to being nocturnal. Hello, my puppets. Okay. So we have our diurnal hawk here. reptile dog. And of course we have our nocturnal owl. So our red-tailed hawks and our owls, a lot of times they eat the same things. They live in the same areas. They are hunting. And so let's say there's a mouse and they both want that mouse. They'll be competing over trying to get that's my mouse. It's my mouse. But luckily, because he's active during the daytime, unless he's laughing at me, and he's active at night, they don't have to compete over that same mouse, right? So they're not fighting over it. They're active at different times of day, so they can share the same space and hunt the same foods, but because they're active at different times, they don't have to worry about it. So less competition when you're hunting at night. So, yes, fighting puppets is always a fun thing. All right, so those are some really great advantages to being nocturnal. But because animals have had to adapt and survive to hunt and find food and avoid being eaten at night, got some pretty cool, unique adaptations to be able to do that. And our first friends, another friend, of course, these guys. You see 'em?
Oop, pull it back a
Oh,
little
too close,
bit.
too close.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Great job, Kimberly,
There we
Philip, Michelle,
Right.
Hillary, Elizabeth, Jesse,
Absolutely.
Bats.
So what adaptation do they
Long
have to
trek.
help them to hunt at night? To find food at night? What do they have? What do they use? Very fun word.
Charles,
There it is.
echolocation. Philip,
Nice.
that's good job,
Echo.
Alex. Long prep.
Absolutely.
Great job,
Absolutely.
Lisa, Cassie,
So echolocation. So they send out that
Paula.
right. They send out that signal. They have a call. They're different. Each species of bat has its own particular call. They send out that call. It hits the bug, and it bounces back, and they hear it. And the faster that call comes back, they know the closer they are to that animal. So it tells them a lot of cool information. So echolocation is a really cool way to be able to hunt at night. These. Get in. Getting scary. So it's kind of hard to see. Scary, huh? What do you guys think? Is he really scary?
Does anybody know what type that is?
A lot of people are afraid of them. They might come in and suck your blood.
Because, yeah, good job, Katie.
There you go. Right. So this is the vampire bat.
Cassie, Jesse, great job. Abby, Aaron, Kelly.
Right. So most vampire bats use echolocation. They use something a little bit different because they eat blood. So they can sense something else. You know what they can sense? It's almost like a sixth sense. You want to guess? How can they? There you go.
Heat, yeah.
Absolutely. They can tell the heat, the body heat, so they can sense where those animals, those mammals, because they prefer cow, chicken, goat, sheep, all kinds of different animals that are sleeping at night. And so they can sense where the heat is, and they can kind of sense right where the blood vessels are closest to your skin, like in your hand, your ears, anything like that, where the blood vessels are close up to the surface of the skin, and they can sense where that is. So pretty cool adaptations.
Yeah, great job. Katie actually said that before you. She said they don't like human blood. They eat mainly cow and other farm animals. And they don't even eat that much of it.
Right, no, exactly. That's a tiny animal. They're about this big. And so they eat maybe a teaspoon or two at night. That's it. That's all they eat. And I used to work with the vampire bats, and not once was I ever bitten. I did not get attacked, ever. As many times I went in there to feed them. So, yeah. So they are more afraid of us than they are of us. And, you know, we give them plenty of food to eat, so they don't, my blood doesn't look as tasty as the cow's blood we give them.
So some questions about bats. One question we got, or several people wanted to know if that bat was real.
It was. Actually, this is one of our vampire bats that used to live in there, and he died of old age, or she, I'm not sure exactly which. We have a really awesome taxidermist, so someone that takes the dead animals and they can preserve them, and so they can be forever shared like that. They're vampire bats. So yes, that was real.
Sharon would like to know, how many bugs do they eat in a night?
Oh, ooh, that is a good.
I was like, I wish Wendy was on our thing with her. She's our bat lady, but
I don't know about. Let's see. This is probably my favorite animal.
oof, tiny.
He's so tiny. Look at him. with that.
A little fuzzy, you know.
Let's see if we can get focused.
See if like you can put your other hand behind it so it's not trying to put on your face. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Block out my face.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. You don't need to see my face anyways. This is pretty cool. So this little guy, he's almost as big as my fingernail. You can see there. He's called the little brown bat. Super common bat we have around here. This little guy will eat over 1,000 mosquitoes a night. So yay bats, right? So yeah. So some of them will eat a lot. They literally eat half their body weight, almost half their body weight in food every night. Because they're flying, and so they have a really high metabolism to be able to keep flying. They need lots of energy to fly, and so they have to eat a lot. So if you can imagine having to eat half your body weight every day, I don't think I can do it. Couldn't even imagine. That's a lot of food. So yeah, so they can eat a lot, and they have to because they fly a lot and they have such a high metabolism. So good questions.
Aaron would like to know, does it hurt the animal when they're bit by a vampire bat? Easton would like to know that. Does it hurt when they're bit by a vampire bat?
Well, that's really cool because vampire bats actually have special spit. So they have what we call anticoagulant in it, so it keeps the blood flowing. But they also have an anesthetic in it, so it actually kind of numbs the area. So I've watched videos of, you can Google it, look it on YouTube, look up stuff like that, and you'll see vampire bats, they walk on their thumbs, and they walk up to the animal, and they make a tiny little cut with their tooth, their sharp tooth, and then they lick it up. The cow or whatever, it flinches. That's about it. He doesn't wake up. He just wakes up the next day and has a little scabbed over cut on his leg, and that's pretty much it. So they barely know what happens. So no, it does not harm the animals, and they don't drink enough to hurt the animals either. So, good questions. We're done with bats. We're done with bats.
Well, Michelle.
I'll come back to bats.
Okay.
Actually, a little bit later.
Okay.
So another cool adaptations for communicating at night is this.
That's good.
There we go.
Light,
Or
firefly,
lightning bugs.
Yeah.
Where you're from.
Kimberly, Lisa, Abby,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
another Lisa.
Does anybody know that the fun science word for when you make your own light, for animals that make their own light?
Long
You know,
prep,
it's a big-
bioluminescence.
Wow,
Great job, long prep.
nice, right? Bioluminescence. Bio means life. Luminescence
Tarantula.
means light, right? So light.
Nice.
Light. And so this is kind of a chemical reaction that goes in their belly, and that's how they communicate. And,
Good job,
Fun
Michelle,
mix.
Katie, and Angela,
Absolutely.
too.
So that's a really cool adaptation for a nocturnal animal. You guys can be fireflies. Be fireflies? Everybody likes to be fireflies.
I got excited. I was like, what? How?
So all you need, you get yourself a bag of wintergreen lifesavers. What have you guys ever done?
Actually, real quick. So somebody said firefly ? Does anybody know? Yeah, like there's different names for it.
Right, firefly, lightning bug, they're the same thing. They're just people have different names for them.
Colloquialism.
Yeah. So get yourself a lifesaver, and it's got to be wintergreen. Okay, wintergreen lifesaver. And then if you go into a dark room or a bathroom where there's a mirror, or if you have a friend you can do this with, you put this in the back of your mouth, and this is the only time where it's polite to chew with your mouth open. Okay? And so you chew with your mouth wide open, and you'll get little sparks coming out of your mouth because of that. And so while that's a different chemical reaction, this is kind of like the Sarah, look at you. This is the breaking down. It's the wintergreen oil, the sugars, and the biting action that creates electrons to jump all over the place and creates this light and emits light in you. So it's not going to burn you unless you don't like wintergreen. But yeah, so you can be fireflies.
We did ask if you could do it, and we have tried to do this so you could
It's
see
not
it multiple
dark enough in
times.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've even
Yeah.
tried to videotape it with the lights off, and it was hard to catch on
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, it's hard to see it, so that's why you guys can do
And
it.
Beth, thank you, Beth. So Beth just put up about an upcoming zoo science that is actually Nikki talking about that, and we do get a little bit on camera.
We were able to get a little bit of it, very short segment of it. So, all right, let's see. All right, if you want to go ahead and start getting our last
Oh,
friends.
yes, sure.
So our next animal, another really cool adaptation, is just having amazing sight and hearing to be able to hunt and find your food at night. And so Miss Leslie's going to get out. What's that?
They're both open. Sorry.
Oh, how did I do that? We've been fighting this thing for forever.
Sorry, friends. We just found something that made our lives very easy.
Yeah. So this animal has amazing sight and amazing hearing. You guys want to guess what you think it is? I'm going to go over here and see if I can see your answer. What animal has amazing sight and hearing? Dogs do, yep. But yeah, we're going to meet owls. So you might have met Tara last week or last time, but we think she's pretty awesome. I've worked with Tara many, many times, and she never gets old. I love seeing her as many times as I possibly can because she's pretty. Owls are probably, I don't know, to me, the ultimate in nocturnal predators. I mean, they are so good at being able to hunt. While she's getting them out, I can show you. So this is the skull of an owl. What takes up most of the room in that skull? What do you notice takes up most of the room? There you go, eyes, right? Absolutely. The eyes are so huge. I'm going to take one for the team. All right, I'm going to look silly. So if we had eyes as big as an owl compared to the size of our skull, we would look like this. We had eyes this big. Hopefully they wouldn't stick out like a cartoon character, but so we'd have huge eyes, but we'd be able to see really, 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 really well at night and be able to hunt by the light of one candle. That's what they say. It's kind of what they see. And then she does actually use, some people don't realize that owls actually have a really, really good sense of hearing. Matter of fact, they did an experiment with a research experiment with barn owls. They put them in a completely dark room so they couldn't see anything at all, and they were still able to hunt and catch that mouse that they released in there just by using their hearing alone. So amazing eyesight and amazing hearing. And when she comes over, I'll get out of the way because she's way prettier than me. So,
All right. So now that she is safely far enough away from me, I'm going to take my mask off. So you can see that we're kind of keeping our social distance as much as we can. Now, Nikki and I work together every time we're here, so we wear it more often than with other people, or we wear not always as often with in the same area since we are working together all the time. But since I do have this animal with me, I'm also wearing gloves today. So I normally wouldn't wear this glove. I would always wear this glove.
yes, if you're smart.
Yeah, does anybody know why I would always wear this glove? Let's see if I can now. She gets a little nervous around our speaker, or not our speaker. What's the thing that we speak through?
Microphone.
So I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer, but I don't want her to get nervous. She has her eye on it now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just slowly see if I can get her a little closer. Maybe
Distract her with food.
Yeah.
So
Put her up.
And I have here. I can bring. I've got the talons too.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I can show those.
So let's see if she's above it, if it scares her as much. No, see, that's pretty good. You can see those nice big what?
Those are called. Look, Tara, me too.
Yes, thank you.
Protection talons.
Yes.
Nice job. Absolutely, those are talons. And my favorite thing about owl talons is they can change them up. So sometimes you'll see their feet look like, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back. They can also flip it and do 3 in the front and 1 in the back. And so they can move their feet around to be able to.
It's pretty amazing.
Perch and catch whatever they want to.
And somebody had asked, I think their name was Jordan, had asked earlier. They were wondering what the birds or what the owls eat, and I didn't answer it because I knew we were going to bring her back out, or we were going to bring her out. So in my my pouch right here. I have.
Oh, somebody just tried the lifesaver experiment. It worked.
Nice.
That's cool. Nice.
They're like, I gotta try
I
it.
do it now.
I'm surprised you had. They were like, we have one of the lifesavers are trying this right now. It's super fun.
Yeah. Oh, Philip says mice and chicks.
Right.
Nice,
Yeah,
right?
mice and chicks.
Nice.
So we have Chick actually in that I'm feeding her today, but she also does get fed mice.
Yeah.
And can you kind of see how I'm like holding my hand like this? Part of that is because I want to keep my hand as nice and still and flat as possible while I'm holding her. If you ever talk to people, no, I'm not hurling her. Holding her. Wow.
Yes, that's a good one.
And that's to make her feel like she's just kind of like on a tree branch. And if you ask anybody who's ever been either as a falconer or has worked with birds in zoos, aquariums, and wild parks and stuff like that, they will tell you that one arm, their bird arm, is stronger than their other arm, and that's from holding birds. That being said, how much do you think she weighs?
Yeah, let's see.
Now, I will tell you, I am not the strongest person, but I can hold my weight. I can hold some weight.
100 pounds. You must think Leslie's really
Ooh.
strong. 10, 45, 50, 10, 5.
5 is the closest, but still
So far.
quite a bit
Oh,
off.
Somebody says 3.
Getting closer.
1.6.
That's very close.
One,
Very good.
one,
She's
two.
about 1.5 pounds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we can sit there and say, well, then that should be really easy to hold. But I have a challenge for all of you. I want you to go after this program, as long as it's okay and you don't have something else to do. I want you to hold something out with your arm like this and hold it about 2 pounds and you can't do this. You can't do this. You have to hold it just in this posture for 15 minutes and see if you can do it. And I will tell you, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than you think it is. So
Yeah.
sometimes we have to do arms, biceps, and stuff like
It's
that.
funny, when I worked for the World Bird Sanctuary, we did a lot of bird shows. They had us hold like a gallon jug with water in it out and practice and build up that muscle to be able to handle holding a eagle or something like that.
And what I do is I sometimes hold my other arm to give
Yeah.
it a little bit of a rest. Or sometimes they make actual things that you can put your hand in
Sticks.
if you're holding an eagle or something like that. I
Yeah.
can barely hold her half the time.
So talk about, so we talked about, she's got those big eyes to be able to hear, or to be able to see at night. But her ears, do you guys see ears on her?
Yeah, does anybody see ears on her?
Where do you see her ears?
Right here?
No,
Do you see them?
no one says ears. Nope, nobody can see the ears. On her head. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so her ears are going to be right around here on her. And do you see this really cool? She keeps looking down at the food. Do you see this really cool kind of like, we call that a facial disc. And she has that on her face. And that facial disc acts kind of like a sound funneler. So when the sound kind of hits her face, the vibrations, it's funneled, kind of like how our ears help funnel stuff into our what are these? Ear flaps or pennae. They actually funnel it into the inner ear. And that's kind of what, thank you, earlobes. There we go. That's kind of what this facial disc does for her. So that is why she actually has her feathers shaped like that. And it's pretty neat to see.
And a lot of people want to know, where's her other eye?
Yes, so we know eyes are very important for owls, right? And owls can actually be released with one eye, but their other eye has to be absolutely crystal clear, perfect. And Miss Tara, she was brought into our animal rehab facility and was hurt. And they said, they looked at her eyes and kind of gave her a workup, just like when you go to the doctor with all of your vital signs and such. And they noticed that her eyes were not good at all. And so they said, you know what? We think it probably, if we released her with these bad eyes, then she probably wouldn't be able to hunt. And they put her through something called mouse school. So you all are in zoo classroom right now, and you may go to some sort of home or public, private charter school. They go to mouse school. And if she's not able, or the animal is not able to successfully capture a live mouse, then they, after multiple times, then they say that they wouldn't be able to survive in the wild. So she wasn't able, she failed mouse school. And then they brought her to our animal ambassador world, and she's been with us since. Now, she did have both eyes then. So since she already had not the greatest eyesight, she hurt her eye on something in her habitat, and it started to get infected, and the vet said, I think we need to take that eye out to help her get healthy faster. Yeah. So that is why she only has one eye, and she doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to worry about hunting food because I give it to her. You're welcome.
She's got lots of people.
Though sometimes if I hold it up and I hold it over here, she can't see it, so I have to make sure I hold it over here.
Yeah. All right. Someone wants to know. Oh, somebody answered it.
Oh.
We already said what she eats.
Yeah, so today she is eating chick, but also she eats mice. Those types of small mammals and small birds are usually what they eat. Oh, you see it?
The microphone again.
Sees the microphone.
It's a big scary. It's a dead kitten.
Do we have any other questions about her?
I think we got them all.
Awesome.
Nice
Great
job.
questions, everybody. Great job, Tara.
Nice job.
I know
Thanks, Tara.
if you've been with us multiple weeks, you may have seen her last week, but really, isn't she a treat every single time?
Yeah, exactly. Every time I see her.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Leslie and Tara. So I saw somebody come up and ask, well, why are owls known for being wise? I think it's because of those eyes. They look like they're wearing glasses, so they look smart. But again, let's look at that skull. And again, so this part is the brain, right? So that's it. So not a lot of room for brain. So that wise old owl, not so much. Sorry, Tara. We won't tell her that. But she's still awesome. Thank you, Miss Tara.
She wouldn't know.
Yeah, she wouldn't know. Absolutely. So a lot of cool different things about being nocturnal. So there's a lot of advantages for being active at night, and you get some really, really cool adaptations for being able to hunt and live and survive at night. And so you guys can help some of our nocturnal animals. We talked about bats and how important they are, that they're eating insects that eat our crops, they're eating mosquitoes that spread diseases. Even the vampire bat, that special spit we talked about, they're actually studying a protein in their spit that will help patients that have had heart attacks or strokes, because it's that blood thinner, the blood thinning agent kind of thing. So bats help us in so many different ways. Even, believe it or not, their poop is good. You can get your own little tub of bat poop, and then you can put it in your garden, and your plants will grow. So bat poop is even good. So lots of bats. And so to help bats, you guys can make bat boxes. Because a lot of bats we have around here, all our bats we have in North Carolina, are insect eaters. And so a lot of them live in trees or like underneath old bark. So a lot of those dead trees. And so unfortunately we cut those down and we tear them up. And so we've taken a lot of their habitats away. And so this is a great way of providing a home for different kinds of bats. And believe it or not, this is we have, if you go to, sorry, I was not prepared to grab them both. If you go to batcon.org, learn all about bats. It's a really amazing website. And you can get yourself print out plans to make a bat box like this. So this one's actually half the size. This is what we would do, because we do this with our Zoo Snooze people. They come and stay overnight and we get to make one. And so plans for actually almost double the size. And so there's different plans, and you have to look on how to hang it, because you don't want to cook your bats, guys. That would be bad. It defeats the purpose. So you'll learn the best places to hang it, where to hang it, even if you want to paint it, what color, shades to paint it, that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of neat information for you to look up and build your own bat box. And believe it or not, let's see. Can you see? How's that look?
Looks good.
In there? There's no bats in there, sorry. But they will squeeze themselves in there. And this one will fit probably about 20 to 30 little brown bats or other bats, those mosquito-eating bats. So very good to have around. So
two quick questions about bat boxes. Yes. So Sharon says, we have a bat box, but no bats. I was wondering if it should face a certain direction.
Right. So that's why if you go to that batcon.org, we have this really cool page. They have a page called Criteria for Successful Bat Houses. And it tells you a good height to hang it, which direction, east, west, north, that kind of thing. Like I said, so that way it's more successful. They need a food source. So if you have kind of water nearby or a lot of insects or places where insects will be, so in that area too is great. So a lot of cool tips on how to successfully hang a bat box and get bats into your bat box.
And then the other question is, where can you get boxes?
I'm sure if you go to the batcon.org, they probably, I think they sell them there. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, yep, getting there.
Okay.
I got my notes. So yeah, so we have any other questions about bats? Boxes?
What is a baby bat called?
Baby
Kate
bat.
would like to know.
Oh, a pup. He's a pup.
Charles did ask if they saw them at Lowe's or Home Depot.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one. I mean, they're fairly, honestly, they're pretty simple to make. It's just plywood. So if you have scraps around, the only thing is you do need to make these little lines. These lines go all the way up, and that allows the bat to grab onto and hang from and be able to climb up in there. And this is for, you need that space there for air circulation, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really not that complicated to make. If we can do it, if third graders can do it, or Zeusans or younger, you guys can do it too.
Did you say, like, why do they have to face a certain direction?
Right. So if you put your bat box facing in the south, where it's going to get a ton of sun, you're going to cook those bats. So yeah, so it gets too hot in there. So there's different directions. You don't want it completely in the north where they're not getting enough sun. So it has to be kind of in the right direction. And I can't remember off the top of my head. See if it says it right here where I can find it. Sorry. Sun exposure, outside temperatures, blah, blah, blah. For bats for July. Hard to scan and try to absorb. Sorry, guys. I don't know exactly off the top of my head which direction. I know it's not the north or the south, but it's either east or west. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, look that up and learn about that. So one last thing for you guys. So, is anybody ready to get up close and virtual? Yay! So we are about to launch our virtual summer camps. So if you are interested, you can go to our website. You can sign up. And even if you're not joining the camp, you can actually purchase a t-shirt. So this t-shirt is for anyone. I mean, if you're joining the camp or not, and you can go to our website, they're $15. If you need a 2X or 3X, it's $2 more. But so $15, you can get your own up close and virtual t-shirt with this really cute little rhino family on it. Isn't he awesome? So yeah, so go to our website, check them out, sign up for some camps, and hopefully we'll see you next Thursday. What are we doing next Thursday, Leslie?
Oh, that's Carolina's coolest.
Carolina's coolest.
We're gonna learn about some new North Carolina
backyard in North Carolina.
Or backyard buddies, excuse me.
Backyard buddies, that's right. We keep changing titles. All right, we have any last questions, or we're
No.
all right? Well, thank you guys once again for joining us. Well, hopefully we'll see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock for our backyard buddies.
Backyard buddies.
And hopefully we'll see you at the camps too. All right, bye guys.